Equal housing lender.
Thanks for watching NBC3, the spirit of the North Coast.
Good evening, I'm Ross Rowley, and welcome to Redwood News. Today was the last day to register to vote in the state of California for the upcoming November 5th election. However, if you missed deadline today, don't worry. California voters can still register to vote in person on Election Day at your local polling place. And remember, mail-in ballots must be postmarked on or before November 5th. And there are several drop-off locations located throughout Humboldt and Del Norte counties where you can drop off your ballot until 8 p.m. on Election Day. Today marks the 5-year anniversary of Tuluwat Island's return to the Wiyot tribe. In 2019, the Eureka City Council returned the land back due to its cultural significance to the tribe. That's 15 years after the City Council previously returned 40 acres. In 1860, European settlers to the North Coast killed 100 women and children on Tuluwat in a nighttime attack. The same year, the island was acquired by Robert Gunther, who turned the land into a dairy farm. Later, there was a shipyard established there, which ran from the 1870s to the 1980s. Underneath Tuluwat Island is a 60-acre clamshell mound, or midden, estimated to be more than 1,000 years old, and that's according to the Tuluwat Island Project website. And good news for residents in Eureka looking to beautify their neighborhood. The city offers a neighborhood mini grant program. The program aims to give residents an opportunity to take ownership of their neighborhood, empowering them and fostering awareness and enthusiasm. The grants will provide startup funds for projects such as designing a neighborhood website, elder check-ins and care, little free boxes for food and such, and gardens. Eureka residents over 18 are encouraged to apply at eurekaca.gov and contact Sarah West to discuss project goals. Well, it's a very wet start to the day, but it turned out pleasant this afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Joe Bartosik tells us more.
Yeah, Ross, we had areas of moderate to heavy rain during the pre-dawn hours, and one of our technical people asked me, Joe, when did we have that heavy rainfall? Well, here it is on Doppler radar. You can see at midnight already starting to fall in Brookings and entering Crescent City. And then watch this line track far south and east gradually throughout the early morning hours. Some of those yellows and reds indicate the moderate to heavy rain that fell primarily across northeastern or northwestern Humboldt County and about much of Del Norte County and western Siskiyou County. We saw rainfall amounts over an inch in Crescent City there at the airport, 3/4 of an inch in Gasky, 2/3 of an inch in Klamath, 1/2 an inch for McKinleyville and Eureka. The heavy rainfall falling between 4 and 8 o'clock in the morning and then weakening as it pushed off to the east. You can see Willow Creek at 0.15 of an inch, same thing for Happy Camp, and nearly 0.2 of an inch for Orleans. As we take a look at your future cast through the overnight hours, looking at a mixture of stars and clouds, some high-level clouds also working on in. We'll see a little disturbance working its way on through during the middle part of the day, so that will help to enhance some of the afternoon clouds that will mix in with the sunshine. But overall, temperatures are going to stay rather cool to seasonable, if you will. There's definitely need jackets and the hoodies tomorrow morning into the mid-40s inland, mid to upper 40s along the coast. Could be some valley fog as well. Then a healthy mix of sun and clouds throughout the rest of the day. New temperatures by noon near 60 degrees for coastal areas, low 60s for inland areas, but up to 70 for the afternoon, and then near 60 for the coastline by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. More rain coming later in the 7-day. We'll talk more about that.
All right, thanks, Joe. Upcoming for the November election, the rebuilding and upgrading of thousands of schools and community colleges across the state, but it would cost taxpayers $10 billion and could raise property taxes.
As school bells ring across the state and students shift from class to class, many parents can't help but think about what's missing.
More central air.
A lot of our schools are dilapidated.
Which is why many are hoping for a little extra funding as voters in California decide on Proposition 2, authorizing access to school bonds for 10,000 schools across the state.
We need to modernize our schools and bring them into the 21st century.
Thomas Pace is the director of facilities for San Bernardino City Unified School District. The school board voted in favor of endorsing Prop 2.
All Proposition 2 is asking the governor to fund schools out of existing revenue. and that means it's less of a tax burden for us.
Proposition 2, if passed, would give matching funds to local districts that pass their own bond issues to support facilities.
I think it goes to an equity issue. I think they should have access. There's no reason why our students don't deserve to have high functioning, high technology, safe learning environments.
San Bernardino City Schools sit in a community where the average household income is $63,000 a year. 90% of its students are considered socioeconomically disadvantaged. And since school bonds are funded on the value of homes in a district, they say they're lacking.
The legal amount that you can tax your local base is $60 per 100,000 of assessed value.
The average home value is around $400,000 compared to similar sized districts like Long Beach.
Their communities have passed several local bonds in the billions, where we are, over the last 20 years, our 2 bond initiatives have yielded about $300 million of total funding.
Right now, the San Bernardino City Unified School District has 2,900 classrooms, and 30% of them are portables like this one. Replacing them would be extremely expensive.
Every classroom costs about $1 million. To build.
But they also want new playgrounds, gyms in their middle schools, technology for learning and safety.
There's technology that we can put into our schools that will allow for a lockdown where all doors can be closed and locked immediately.
But opponents say find the funding elsewhere.
Local property taxes could go up as a result of these statewide bonds.
Susan Shelley is with the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, which is against the bond measure.
Proposition 2 is $10 billion of additional debt for the state of California.
And possibly more property tax if local communities approve their own measures.
What we need is a better system for allocating the money.
But districts like San Bernardino say they need your vote, for without it, they aren't sure how they will pay for the facilities and programs their children desperately need.
And check your freezers. Some frozen waffle products are being recalled because they could be contaminated with listeria. The recall products were produced by Treehouse Foods and sold under various brand names across the United States and Canada. And according to the U.S. Drug Administration, there have been no confirmed reports of illness linked to the products. The issue was discovered through routine testing at a manufacturing facility. The FDA said you should throw out the recalled products or return them to the store for credit. And in other recall news out today, Church Brothers Farms has recalled nearly 1,300 cases of its green onions. The onions may be contaminated with salmonella, according to the Food and Drug Administration. Salmonella infections can be fatal for children and the elderly. For others, the symptoms include fever, nausea, and abdominal pain. So far, there are no reports of illness related to these onions. And coming up after the break, how the Pentagon is dealing with unidentified drones, and a little later, Carly Robbins of Food for People chats with us on tonight's Redwood Newsmakers.
For more local news, visit our website at redwoodnews.tv.
This October, we're brewing up chances to win your share of $20,000 in cash and prizes at the Heights. Join us every Friday and Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m. for hourly drawings to mix a magic potion and conjure up some spellbinding wins.
Only at the Heights, where your next win is just a spell away.
The biggest gaming thrills on the North Coast. The Heights Casino, open 7 days a week and 24 hours a day.
There's news. there's good news. Like thousands of patients receiving free, life-changing surgeries from volunteer doctors and nurses on hospital ships, all made possible by kindness. We love good news.
A peculiar sight over military installations on the East Coast, raising an alarm that reached the president. Multiple drones flying over sensitive areas for multiple nights in a row. The Pentagon says the U.S. military is waffling over how to respond. Brian Abel reports on the mystery and what the Pentagon is saying about it.
Joint Base Langley Eustis, home to squadrons of F-22 Raptors, one of which in February of last year shot down a Chinese surveillance balloon that captivated people across the United States for days. Fast forward 10 months and another potential form of surveillance, raising new questions. According to the Wall Street Journal, Langley experienced a series of drone incursions into restricted airspace for 17 nights in a row last December.
They didn't appear to exhibit any hostile intent. It's something that we, have kept our eye on.
The drones were not engaged by the military, as the Journal noted. Current laws prevent shooting down drones that are not considered an imminent threat. Though those F-22s were moved to another base and training exercises were halted out of fear of possible collisions with the drones, according to the Wall Street Journal, their purpose still a mystery.
As far as gathering intelligence, they can give you information about where the perimeter fences are, where the security guards are, etc.
But Hemis explains much of that data somebody can get from Google these days. While he says the security concern in this case may be low, unidentified aerial phenomena remain a national security concern.
I'm not sure how big a worry that is. Unless they start flying down and looking in doorways and things like that, things you can't see from space, then that might be a concern. Then that might be an indicator they're planning to do something more serious.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
The North Coast and Florida on opposite coasts couldn't seem farther apart. But when natural disasters like Hurricane Milton hit areas such as the Gulf Coast, help is needed from all over the country. Rebel News reporter Lauren Brenner spoke with a PG&E employee who works on power lines here on the North Coast, but traveled with a crew across the country to help restore that much-needed power.
Dustin Trimble normally works along the North Coast for PG&E.
Our work group covers from about Ukiah all the way up to the Oregon border where our service territory ends. So we travel quite a bit back and forth.
But sometimes the travel for our local workers is much further.
We were in Florida for a total of 2 weeks.
Dustin and his crew traveled to help restore power to the hundreds of thousands without power after Hurricane Milton.
We did some mainline work. We worked some feeders after that, but we started off initially on the mainline getting the bigger and more critical customers energized. And then we moved to the feeder lines, which are like your radial taps and your smaller customers.
Have you ever flown or gone to do some sort of disaster repair or support like this before?
Yeah, mutual aid. I've been to Hurricane Irma, which was in Florida. It was a little bit different circumstances, so it's nice to get out and help other work groups with mutual aid. It's nice to travel there with a crew you're familiar with, you trust, and you feed off each other as you're encountering different hazards that might not be ones that are from here. We took all 7 from my crew, and then from our area, there was 42 crew members from our area, I believe.
Is it different than working at home, or is it more or less kind of the same stuff that you're doing?
It's kind of a joke, line work, but it's definitely different. When you get out there, it's different voltages, different territory, different hazards. PG does a good job of briefing you on kind of like the biological hazards within like the different reptiles and species and mosquitoes that Florida has that we don't. But we'll get out there. You just kind of take a step back and just figure out what you're working, where you're working. But then once you go to work, it's line work, and you start putting wire up. You build to their standards, but we make it work, and it's fun for us. And I feel like we're doing good when we do go, so we enjoy it.
For Redwood News, I'm Lauren Brenner.
And of course, mutual aid works both ways. Dustin Trimble tells Redwood News when the North Coast experiences powerful winter storms in our region, energy workers travel from outside of this territory to aid our local workers when extra crews are needed. And Joe is back with your full forecast coming up after the break, and we'll be right back.
Edward Jones, serving individual investors since 1871. Heck Wood, Janelle Swan Robinson, Greg Seiler, Fred Robinson, Asa Shively, Laura Middlemiss, Brian Plumley, Sarah Newblom, Kelly Wood, Devin Peel, Brandon Kukitsika, Matthew Shiney, and Holly Martell, your financial advisors serving the North Coast.
Follow us online for updates on local news, weather, and sports.
911, what's your emergency?
I smell something delicious and I don't know what it is.
Ma'am, we've traced the smell and it's coming from inside your oven.
Ah, amazing! Papa Murphy's.
California is big on having the best of all worlds, like this RAV4 hybrid that's ready for it all. Or this innovative head-turning hybrid made for excitement. Or the legendary Land Cruiser built for adventure. With 16 reliable, fuel-efficient Toyota hybrids to choose from, you can have it all. Toyota, let's go places.
Happy Take and Bake Tuesday! Every Tuesday at Papa Murphy's, you can get large pizzas for just $13.99, which makes Tuesday the best day to bring home all your favorites.
We might have too many favorites.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
If you see news happening, call the Redwood News tip line. Tetro Tire Center offers the lowest out-the-door prices on national brand tires in the area. Their prices always include mounting, balancing, valve stems, disposal, flat repairs, and road hazard warranties. During October, get up to a $100 rebate with the purchase of 4 new select tires from Cooper, BF Goodrich, and General. Get up to 6 months interest-free financing. It's available from the Synchrony credit card. Check out automotive specials on oil changes, Bosch wiper blades, brakes, wheel alignments, and more. Tetro Tire Center across from Pearson's on Broadway in Eureka.
I want to thank Martha Mead for sending me the 8 photos. Actually, I picked out what I thought was the better one out of these as she was at work today, had a little afternoon break, taking a picture of Old Town Eureka there. And again, this blue sky helping to clear the dry air coming in, helping to provide a clearing throughout the afternoon hours, but still a beautiful mix of high to mid-level clouds, and again, some of those puffy cumulus clouds developing there over the mountains as a result of, again, that sunshine hitting the dry air, or heating the moist ground. And then, of course, as that warm, moist air rises, it quickly cools, condenses, and keeps those puffy, fair weather cumulus clouds developing across the area. I expect more of that as we head on in throughout the day tomorrow. But following the rain this morning, temperatures actually did manage to get pretty close to normal. In fact, right at normal for a daytime high in Eureka today. 59 degrees for a high in Crescent City. That's just 3 degrees below normal, but it's offsetted by how warm we were given the clouds and the rainfall compared to normal by about 6 degrees to start off the day. As we take a look at other high temperatures across the region today, we were into the upper 50s, low 60s, fairly widespread throughout Del Norte County and on in throughout Humboldt County. A warm spot being Redway at 64 in Humboldt and 61 in Klamath today. We were also 61 officially in Eureka, as we mentioned, 65 for Happy Camp, and into the mid to upper 60s for much of inland Trinity County. Now, even though we had all that rain, moderate to heavy, for only a few short hours, again, the heaviest rain generally fell between 1 and 8 o'clock in the morning from northwest to southeast across the area. Data as of last Wednesday, this map was released last Thursday, still shows abnormally dry conditions across far interior Humboldt County, all of Trinity County, Siskiyou County, and all of Del Norte County, with just a little teeny tiny bit there crossing over the Oregon border into far northern areas of the state there across Siskiyou County. But we're still, again, could use another round of moderate to heavy rain. In some locations are 1 to 2 inches below normal just for the past 30 days. And that's mainly as a result of this very stubborn high pressure system that continues to remain very strong across much of the Four Corners region and the Southwest. Over the past month, we've gradually noticed disturbances working their way farther south from Vancouver, the Canadian border, now entering more of that Washington and Oregon border area. And we'll see that quick disturbance moving on by that caused the rain today. Take a look at a couple of disturbances here. One's going to pinwheel around this larger disturbance, and that's going to provide for a little chance of rain Friday night into Saturday, and then another one rotating around it will provide another chance of rain for Saturday night and on in through Sunday as well. In the meantime, high pressure will be in control. Mainly get some high-level clouds over the next couple of days, combined with a mixture of sun and clouds for the area. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast showing, again, inland areas, again, mild into the mid-70s next couple of days. Low 80s, though, for Thursday and Friday as that same heat dome starts to return back into the area, and then those disturbances start working their way on through, helping to increase the rain chances as we head into the second half of the weekend and early next week. That will be true along the coast as well. Temperatures, though, generally into the mid to upper 40s for overnight lows, highs in the low to mid 60s. We'll be right back.
I've been with U.S. Cellular for 27 years. They've always taken care of me. But when they asked me to talk to you about their special customer event, Us Days, I said, I gotta get in shape. So they sent me this Hollywood trainer. Oh, this guy's no joke. Us Days means exclusive deals just for us customers.
Now let's try burpees.
Us Days is back at U.S. Cellular. Current customers get $1,200 off any phone, plus $400 off any tablet.
Huh, why would anybody do that?
If you're paying high interest rates on your credit cards, you're burning money. We're Consolidated Credit, and we've been helping Americans for over 30 years. Let us work with your creditors to reduce your total payments by up to 50%. Lower your high interest rate credit cards and stop juggling multiple payments. We help you pay down your debt faster than you can on your own, all while saving you thousands in interest charges. Consolidate your credit card bills into one affordable payment today. You don't have to be good with money, because we are. Call 800-754-5124 for a free consultation. 800-754-5124. Call Consolidated Credit today. That's 800-754-5124.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The classic lines you love.
Yada, yada, yada.
Are you still master of your domain? Significant shrinkage.
The classic moments you'll never forget.
You double dipped the chip. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think you forgot my bread. Nothing for you.
60 Minutes and Vanity Fair just named Seinfeld the greatest sitcom of all time.
I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute.
Seinfeld.
This time of year, Food for People services might be more top of mind than, say, other times of year. So let's chat with Food for People Executive Director Carly Robbins. Hi, Carly.
Hi, Ross.
Tell me, what is the one thing most people probably do not know about what Food for People does?
I think when a lot of people think of Food for People, they think of our one site in Eureka, and that's kind of like the extent of what they think of. But Humboldt County is a very complex area. We have lots of different organizations doing hunger relief work in different ways, and Food for People partners with most of them. Last time we tallied, we partner with over 100 other local organizations.
I'm not sure people know that there's that many organizations that are in your industry.
Anything from family resource centers providing food, schools providing backpacks for kids.
Churches with pantries.
Churches with pantries, other organizations who do food rescue. It crosses all different areas.
I want to talk about seniors on fixed incomes. We know electricity bills are going up, gas and food prices are always going up. Food for People really can be a stopgap for them.
Yes, yes. And seniors are one of our large populations that we serve, and it's one of the larger growing populations in need of food assistance, which isn't that shocking if you think of kind of what a basic income is right now, especially for someone on Social Security. If you have $900 a month and you have rent, utilities, gas, groceries, it can be really hard to make those ends meet. So resources like the food we provide through Food for People can be help bridge that gap. And people can either come pick up directly from us, or we have an amazing group of volunteers who come pick up from us, and we'll drop off directly to people who can't make it out of their house.
Name just a variety of the different programs that you offer throughout the year. Not just the food pantry, but you have a lot of other programs.
Yeah, Food for People has lots of different programs, all aimed at targeting food insecurity and combating hunger in Humboldt County. That can be our network of food pantries, consistent places people can go to access food. We do mobile pop-up distributions in really rural communities who don't have that same access. But we also have programs for populations that are more vulnerable, like senior population has their own programs. We also have programs specifically targeting children, whether it's on the weekend, like our Backpacks for Kids program, or during the summer. Those times that students aren't in school and might not have ready access to meals at school.
It makes me wonder, how far do your services go in Humboldt County? From southern Humboldt to where?
We try and reach as far out as we can in Humboldt County. So we are down south in Garberville, Redway. We go out to Bridgeville, Dinsmore, Blocksburg, all the way up to Orleans, Orick, and many places in between.
I think maybe people might want to know, how is Food for People funded?
Yeah, Food for People is funded through a couple of different ways. We have the kind of resources we get through the state and the federal government that make up a wedge of the pie. We have contracts and resources we get through local foundations, but a good portion of what supports Food for People is actually our own community.
Right here.
Probably the largest part, and that's folks from all walks of life. We have people who give on a monthly basis. There are some people who, let us know, I give to you now because back in my college days I relied on the food pantry. So now I give what I can on an ongoing basis.
Yeah. This has been Carly Robbins from the Food for People. We're going to be talking with her throughout the year. Thanks, Carly.
Thanks, Ross.
For more local news, visit our website at redwoodnews.tv.
What's the best way to help your kids thrive? Reading. Studies show that children who read for pleasure have higher academic achievement and better mental health. Children who are read to 20 minutes per day are exposed to nearly 2 million words per year. There are free resources at your local library and on free digital library apps. Improve tomorrow. Read with a child today. Brought to you by the Humboldt County Office of Education.
Preparing students for their preferred future.
It's the incredible Red Dog, the amazing universal socket tool that fits, grips, and tightens virtually any fastener. Look at all the different sizes and shapes, nuts, bolts, and screws. Any head will do. Red Dog grabs on tight and locks into place fast. It replaces hundreds of different tools, yet it's smaller than a battery. 54 telescoping steel pins mold around any object. Then, up to 150 pounds of torque, knock out rusted fasteners. You can get Red Dog for just $19.99. Breaking news: Red Dog may be discontinued. Due to supply chain shortages, Red Dog is stopping manufacturing immediately. There's a strict limit of 3 per order while supplies last. Order now.
Call 1-800-519-4780. That's 1-800-519-4780 or visit buyreddog.com. Call 1-800-519-4780 now.
I'm a Greater Eureka Chamber member because it provides opportunities to connect my businesses with fellow entrepreneurs and potential clients.
The Chamber allows me to stay informed about local business opportunities and collaborate on initiatives that drive economic development.
They offer meaningful networking and fosters a strong sense of community.
It allows me to stay informed of community events and actively contribute to the economic growth of the area.
Our Chamber has many ways to get involved. Contact us to learn more.
As high pressure builds in, cooler air is also building into the area, so that means a cool to chilly and somewhat frosty start for mainly inland areas. Give the kids the hoodies and the jackets. You'll see bus stop temperatures in the morning at 41 degrees, 46 along the coast, only warming up into the mid to upper 50s for afternoon highs along the coast, and still into the low 70s for that afternoon stop inland. They'll be wearing the jackets and the hoodies over their shoulders rather than on their bodies for the afternoon.
Leaving them on the playground and
yeah. I left it in the closet at school, you know.
Yeah, and then your mother gets mad at you.